They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I think that is just as true for dogs as it is for humans. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make a wholesome, delicious, human-grade breakfast for your dogs that I think they are going to love. You ready to go, Bronx? Hello and welcome. I'm the Barking Good Chef, and this channel is all about helping you make wholesome, human-grade food for your dogs. It's food you can use as a meal itself for your dogs, or if you're just kind of getting started with homemade dog food, incorporating it into their existing diet. And yes, today we are doing breakfast. It is just packed with good stuff. It has oatmeal, buckwheat, blueberries, eggs, and it is just a really great meal for them. And best of all, it's really easy and quick to make, and it all comes together in one pot. For this recipe, I'm using a 3-quart pot. That will be plenty. This usually makes between 2 and 3 meals for my dogs, but of course that will vary depending on the size of your dog. And this recipe can easily be doubled, and I will put the entire list of ingredients in the description below. But for now, measure 3 cups of water, put it in your pot, and we'll bring this to a boil. While the water is coming up to a boil, we are going to measure 1 cup of oats, and I'm just using old-fashioned rolled oats for this, and a ½ cup of buckwheat. Buckwheat, if you're not familiar with it, can usually be found in like the bulk section of a grocery store, or you can also order it online. Buckwheat might also be known as kasha. That's when it's actually been roasted, but they're these little triangular grains. I know these are really hard to see, but they are packed with good stuff, and I like to incorporate it into my dogs' diet. Okay, our water is boiling, and if you have ever made oatmeal, then this will be really easy. And don't worry, if you've never made oatmeal before, it's a cinch. So first thing we're gonna do is just pour in our oatmeal, and then we're also gonna pour in our buckwheat. And then we're just gonna stir it, and basically all you need to do is cook this for about 5 minutes. We're cooking this over, let's say about medium heat right now. And what's going to happen, again, if you've ever made oatmeal, is those grains are just going to puff up and it's going to get nice and kind of mushy. And I also like to add just a touch of salt. I mentioned this in another video on making homemade dog food. Because I only use homemade food for my dogs, I add table salt because it has iodine in it. And that's a vital ingredient for both humans and dogs so that we don't get goiter. And we can't forget about our fruit. I like to add about a handful of blueberries. I keep a can of dried blueberries on hand. And you can also use fresh blueberries or frozen blueberries if you have it. And this is just another way to get more nutrients into my homemade dog food breakfast. So we're just going to cook this for about 5 minutes and just kind of give it a stir every once in a while. Okay, our oatmeal, buckwheat, and blueberries have been cooking for a few minutes now. You can see most of this liquid is absorbed. And now comes the protein. I'm going to add 2 raw eggs to this, just like this. And then all we have to do is cook this until the eggs are done. You know, I used to make this all the time for my dogs, but I would cook the eggs separately. You know, I'd make scrambled eggs, or I'd make, you know, over hard eggs. In fact, I did a whole video on why you should be feeding your dogs eggs, and I'll link to that video in the description below. But then I had the idea, you know, it's all going to be combined anyways. Why not just add the eggs to the mix? They're going to love it all the same, and they do. So this is almost like an egg drop soup if you've ever made that, where you put the eggs in the boiling water, then they cook. Well, it's the same method, but we're just cooking this all in here in this one pot. So this is really it. Just cook this for a few more minutes until the eggs are done, and voila, you have breakfast for dogs. And I've got a hungry dog right here.
Good boy, Frogs.
Okay, our eggs are cooked, and here is what it looks like when it is all finished. Now, of course, this is going to be very hot, so wait until it's about lukewarm to serve it to your dogs. And then if there's anything left over, just refrigerate that. I personally put it in the microwave and kind of heat it until lukewarm the next day before I serve it. And now I personally do one more thing before serving this to my dogs, and that is that I add a vitamin mix to my homemade dog food. Because my dogs only eat homemade food, I want to make sure that they have all those vital nutrients. So I just put a dog vitamin mix into their food to make sure that they are getting that. So there you go. There's how to make a one-pot super breakfast for your dogs. It only takes a few minutes. It costs next to nothing. I mean, oatmeal is very inexpensive. Even eggs are still pretty cheap. So this is a really cost-effective meal to make, and I think it really gets them started on the right foot. I know that after this, my dog is rearing to run. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know how it goes. Let me know if your dogs liked it. And as always, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you are here. Until next time, all my best to you and your precious pups.